For 31 years, a killer wrote letters to the police. He gave himself a name. He described what he'd done. And nobody could catch him. He wasn't caught by a witness, or a fingerprint, or a confession. He was caught by a floppy disk.
January the 15th, 1974, Wichita, Kansas.
4 members of the Otero family were murdered inside their own home. There was no forced entry, no robbery, no motive anyone could name. The killer had simply walked in and waited.
9 months later, a phone call sent police to a book in the Wichita Public Library.
Tucked inside was a letter. The writer claimed the Otero murders. He complained that the newspapers had not given him a nickname, so he chose his own. BTK, bind, torture, kill. Over the next 17 years, he killed 10 people. And between the killings, he wrote letters to the newspapers, poems, packages left in public places. He was not hiding. He was performing. And every time, he vanished again. Then, in 1991, he stopped. No letters, no killings, nothing. The case went cold for 13 years. Detectives retired. Files went into storage. Wichita began to believe BTK was dead. He wasn't. He was living 6 miles away in Park City, married, 2 grown children, a steady job as a local compliance officer, president of his church council, an ordinary man in an ordinary street with an ordinary name. March 2004. An envelope arrived at the Wichita Eagle. Inside were photographs and a photocopied driving license belonging to a woman murdered in 1986. Only the killer could have had them. After 13 years of silence, BTK had come back, and he could not stop. Over the next 11 months, he sent package after package. Cereal boxes left in car parks, envelopes taped under road signs. He was taunting them again, but this time he was talking. And a man who talks eventually asks a question. In early 2005, he asked the police something extraordinary. If he sent them a floppy disk, could it be traced back to him? He wanted their word. He asked his hunters for permission. The police answered him in the classified advertisements of the Wichita Eagle. A short message telling him it would be safe. It was not true. It was the only lie in the entire case. And it was the one that worked. February the 16th, 2005. A purple floppy disk arrived at KAKE television in Wichita. A detective put it into a computer. On the disk was a deleted Microsoft Word document. Deleted, but not gone. Hidden inside the file was its own history. Metadata. It recorded who had last saved the document, a first name, Dennis, and where the computer sat, Christ Lutheran Church. A detective typed the church's name into a search engine. The website listed the president of the Congregation Council, Dennis Rader. On February the 25th, 2005, they arrested him a few streets from his home. 31 years. Ended in 9 days. He had hidden from a city, from the police, and from his own family for 3 decades. He was undone by a file he thought he had deleted on a disk he was told was safe. BTK was not caught because he killed. He was caught because he asked permission and believed the answer. Every killer makes one mistake. We find it. New files open every week. Subscribe.